Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. So today it's a beautiful fall day out. It's actually going to get into the 70s, which we have been in like really cold weather recently. We even had an overnight freeze. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be moving some of this chard into this container and pulling out the scabbiola, which is going to, with the freeze, die. We might actually leave it, I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. And then we're going to do some bulb planting. I got my bulb order in from Eden Brothers, and we're going to plant some Allium, Karataviense, and we are going to plant some daffodil, apricot, whirl. So my name is Soleil, and I garden in a zone 5B in mid-Michigan, and it's fall and it's planting time, so let's get going. All right, so after taking a look at this a little bit more, I am going to pull these out because they are a bit tired looking. And they will be dying really soon. And then I have the stump of a, let's see, what was it? It's a, I think it was actually an annual that was a salvia. And then right here we have an ajuga, and this one is Fancy Finch. This ajuga is a perennial, and it should overwinter just fine in this container because they are quite hardy. I think they're hardy down to a zone 3, zone 4. So I might want to divide some of it, but I don't know, we'll see. It looks really pretty in this container. So in the chard, I have multiple different colors in here, and I want to get some of the green and some of the red. We'll see how hard it is to get these out of the container. Let's move this aside so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I have a feeling most of these roots are all kind of intermingled within the planter. They have been in here for quite some time. So I'm just going to pry them away from the side. And then I'm going to see if I can slide like the whole thing out. Alright, well, here we have a nice chard with some beautiful yellow stems. We'll just clean it up a little bit, and one that's green. So that's a good start. See if we can get some with red stems now. Alright, there's some red stems. I'm not trying to refresh the soil or add any fertilizer or anything like that because it's so cold here, you guys. These are not going to get much more growth on them. They might fill in a little bit. My expectations are not high. It's just because I want to replace these annuals that we had that we're doing absolutely nothing to make it look lovely. At least this will add a little bit of fall color into the mix. And I should have enough to make these look fairly full. I'm going to keep adding. So this chard is edible. I grew all of these from seed. So it's kind of fun sometimes to have things that can be ornamental in your garden, but then also be used as an edible. All right, let's try to add some to this other pot, and then we'll see how many we have left. You want to make sure we have plenty for both sides. Definitely don't want that dandelion in the pot. Break up the soil a little bit. All right, we got some fall leaves coming in here. Making a big mess. One of my favorite things to do. Alright, now we're just going to put our leftovers into this bin. This one was just a little too long and lanky to plant, but all of this will do quite well in our compost pile. Okay, and I'm just picking up my pot toes here, so we'll get all of these back up on. Pot toes are really convenient to use. They're just these little plastic pieces, and you keep this side on the outside and this one on the inside. You can use one if you need to level something up. You can stack them if you want to, so if you have one side that is a little bit lower than both of the other sides, you can put two on one side and just one on each of the other. Anyways, they go under the pots, and they're fairly inexpensive to use. And I think we're just going to put these this direction. And this dirt was a little bit, or the soil was a little bit moist, so it didn't come up completely from the blower. So I'll have to come back later after it kind of dries out a little bit. But I will water these in actually, so when I do that, that will actually clean it up to the rest of it. And these do come in lots of different colors. You can see here I have gray and black. You can get them in terracotta color as well. I need to push this one in a little bit further. There we go. And And in cold weather, I don't have to worry if these crack. All right, let me get the hose and we'll water these in, and that should finish it up. All right, let's get on to planting some bulbs. We're gonna get some bulbs planted that I got from Eden Brothers, and this is one of the times that I actually pull out my digging tool because bulbs can be a little bit tedious to dig and plant, and we got quite a few of them here. So this is just a chemo drill, and I've got my little auger right here, and it's got an extra handle on it, so if I hit something or a root, it helps to stabilize me. So in this garden bed today, we are going to plant some daffodils, and these are called Apricot Whirl. And there's 10 of them in each package. We're going to plant 20 of them in the back garden, and then I have 20 that I want to plant in the front garden around the weeping cherry tree up front. So these are going to be beautiful. We'll put a nice picture up for you. These bloom in early spring to late spring, and they have pink in them, and they get to about 18 inches tall. And you need to plant daffodils about 6 inches deep. Sometimes I don't plant them as deep if I'm planting them in a more soggy or dense soil. You might want to plant them a little bit deeper if you have a really sandy or light soil, just to help protect them from the winter. They definitely are a wonderful deer-resistant bulb. They also don't get dug up. One of the reasons I'm planting these out here is because I planted a ton of tulips last year, and the rodents have come through, dug lots of them up, ate the roots off of them or something, maybe the top of them, I don't know, and then just kind of tossed them aside. So I'm guessing I'm going to have lots of area in this bed where the tulips will not come up again this year, but that's all right. So let's get some daffodils going. So I have 20 of these. Normally I like to plant these in groups of 3, but because I have 20, I'm gonna plant them possibly in groups of 4 or 5. So you can see on these bulbs, there's 2 heads on this one, so this will actually hopefully produce 2 flowers. And if I look in the bag, they might be counting that as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, there's 10 in each bag, so they're not counting that as 2, they're counting that as 1. So that's really nice when you get a double bulb. It also means that they're probably good at naturalizing, which is fun because that means they'll multiply fairly readily. So you can see that I planted these really close together, but that will just help make them look like a really nice clump in the spring, their first year, and they will continue to grow on after that. So you can see also that I have them probably about 5 inches deep here instead of the 6 inches because I do have fairly wet winters, and they do really well at this depth for me. You can also see I'm planting these somewhat towards the back of the border, and that's because these will come up before a lot of the other plants will be tall enough to screen them, and the other plants will grow up and shroud some of the dying foliage as it turns yellow. I think we're just going to do 2 holes today in this garden for this one. And it's okay if you kind of have to set them on top of each other a little bit because their greenery will grow up and around the other bulbs. When you plant with daffodils, it's pretty clear usually which side goes up. These are the roots, and this is the tip. So super easy to tell on these bulbs, which makes them really easy to plant. The rabbits also don't like them, in addition to the deer or the chipmunks or the squirrels. They have a little bit of a natural poison in them, so they try not to eat them. The nice thing about bulbs also is that when you plant them, you don't necessarily have to water them right afterwards. You might want to if your area is incredibly dry, but otherwise they just do fine waiting for the next rain. This is a really annoying Canada thistle. They're coming underground into my garden from the neighbor's yard. They are invasive, and they will travel by rhizomes by 15 feet underground. Roots. All right, there are no daffodils in this garden bed. I don't know how I missed them before. So we're gonna put some in. You might notice that it looks a little bit different here because I've planted some additional foxglove in here. And it kind of moved the barberries a little closer to the sedum. Try to get 5 in this hole. See what we can do. Oh, I don't think so. Those are double bulbs, all 3 of them. There's a bee on my shoulder right now. They slow down a little bit this time of year, but there's pollinators still out until it freezes really hard. So I have daffodils that are out here under the tree, and they come all the way around the circle. There's also some purple sensation alliums, and they end about here. So I'm just going to add a few right in here amongst the salvia, because these will definitely come up before them. All right, I'm going to finish up the daffodils and then we'll show you the allium that I got. Okay, so we're going to plant these alliums today. These are a very unique allium that I like to plant in my garden. This year they didn't come back great for me, I think because the soil here is still a little heavy yet because it's a new soil bed. But these are called Karataviense, at least that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And they are 6 to 12 inches high, and they have a beautiful blue foliage, and they bloom a very light pink color, and it's in early summer. They do like full sun and partial shade, and you only have to plant them about 2 to 3 inches deep, and they just look like small white onions. And I'm going to plant them along here and see how they do this year. I might also add some to my planting holes over here, but I did a bad job of marking them, so I'm not positive exactly where they're at now because there's so many plants. I'm digging the hole just a little bit deeper than is necessary, just to kind of fluff the soil beneath them to make it a little bit easier for them to grow. Now I have 10 in each of these bags, I believe. Yes. But again, I'm going to be planting in threes. Okay. really make sure that I have plants with deer resistance out here. And these definitely have it. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video today, watching me plant some bulbs, and I wonder what bulbs you guys are planting this fall. Did you order some? Are you getting them in the ground yet? It's a great time to do it before it gets too cold, but you can keep planting them quite late as long as the ground isn't frozen. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!